All right, so I'm obviously back in my home state of Hawaii at this point, but coming up on this portion of the journey, I make my way through the state of Minnesota with stops in Minneapolis, Voyageurs National Park, and several other places. And as always, lots of hiking and free dispersed camping. Enjoy.
Welcome to Minnesota.
Right, so it's midday on August 17th, Tuesday, and I'm into the great state of Minnesota, a state I haven't been to in probably 20 years. We used to vacation up here almost every year, but up in the northern portion of the state. So now I'm pretty far south. I got about an hour and a half to get to Minneapolis. My plan is to get in, find a place to hang for a little bit, and then the Twins are actually playing against the Cleveland Guardians tonight, so I'm going to try to catch that game. It's about 3 o'clock and I'm into Minneapolis and just sitting here hanging out at the Walker Art Center, which is right adjacent to the Minneapolis Sculpture Garden. So I'm just taking a load off and doing some things on the internet for a little bit, and then I'm gonna walk down and check out the garden. And I'm parked down there and I paid for the whole day, so then I'm gonna drop my stuff in the car and walk from here. It should be about 20 to 30 minutes to get down to the ballpark, which isn't so bad, and I'll probably eat along the way. All right, so I'm just walking to the game at this moment. Just got done with a delicious burger and fries, pre-gaming at a place called the Bulldog Tavern. Tried to find a Juicy Lucy, but as far as I could tell, nothing in this area right here had really renowned Juicy Lucy's, so I bypassed that. Anyway, walking towards the game, hoping to get a cheap ticket and get in. Oh man, so good to be back at the park after probably 4 or 5 years since I've been to a game, and that was in Seattle. So really happy to have gotten the chance to go see him. Didn't get to stay for the whole game, left about halfway through because I got to get out to a Cabela's for the night and call it into the fun for today. So that's what I'm up to, and gonna rack out pretty soon as I get to the parking lot. Alright, it's 9:30 in the morning on Wednesday, August 18th. Had a pretty nice sleep at this Cabela's just outside of Minneapolis, and kind of had a lazy morning this morning. Watched some of my TV shows on Bravo, And now the plan is today just to get up to the Superior National Forest, which is in the far northeastern portion of the state. And right now I'm shooting for the area outside of Duluth, which is the second biggest city in Minnesota. I got a frisbee or disc golf course marked on the map, so I'm gonna go have lunch up there and play around a disc golf first on my way up to camping tonight.
In 2 miles, take exit 253A for US 2 East toward Wisconsin.
All right, made it to the frisbee golf course. It's a little bit after noon. And this is actually Wisconsin, by the way, so I think I can count 5 states on this little 2-week round tripper. But anyway, just grabbing some lunch, and then I'm gonna go hit the disc golf course. That throw right there was to make another bogey. Tough start, quadruple, and then a bogey, triple bogey, and then a bogey. This course is super hard. It's super narrow, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose my one and only disc, but oh well, it's worth it. So anyway, just gonna try to straighten things out, but it's absolutely gorgeous and quiet out here, so definitely enjoying myself. Just hopefully I don't lose this one disc I have. All right, my day is done. My race is run on this course. The next hole, after I just spoke to the camera, hooked my drive way to the right, and the disc is somewhere in there somewhere, but I'm not even gonna worry about trying to look for it because God knows what else is in there. So anyway, that's it. Got 5 holes in, and it was fun while it lasted, but I was kind of nervous anyway about poison ivy because every single drive I hit was out in the trees. So oh well, good times. Now on to go try to find a camp spot up in Superior National Forest. Right, it's about 6 o'clock now, and I got to camp just fine. The one I was aiming for up here, there was a road closure about 20 minutes away, so I had to kind of scramble on the fly, just look at Google Maps to try to identify some open spaces, and I found a spot here that seems to be just fine. It's only about half a mile, quarter mile away from the main road, but it's nice and quiet, and haven't had another person come by yet in 3 or 4 hours, so feels like it should be a pretty calm night. Made it here and grabbed a shower and a shave, so I'm feeling nice and clean. And now just gonna head down and grab some dinner and call it a day. Right, it's 7 a.m. on Thursday, August 19th. I had an amazing night's sleep last night. It was tough. After those nights at Cabela's where the trucks are kind of going by all night, I wasn't really refreshed. So last night was great. It was super quiet. And I feel great this morning. So anyway, I got a couple hours drive. I'm heading to Voyageurs National Park, which is all the way up near the Minnesota-Canadian border. And it's about a couple hours drive from where I am. Right, so it's getting on 10 a.m. and I'm in the park and I've got my brochure and just having a quick snack because I think what I'm going to do, there's a 3 mile each way out and back trail that goes to the Kabash River. And so I'm going to do that as kind of my long distance trail this morning before it gets too hot. Then I'm going to come back here, have some lunch. There's a couple of really short half-mile hikes to some scenic overlooks that are near this visitor center area. So I'm going to take advantage of that in the early afternoon and then bounce and then try to find a camp spot for tonight. This national park, I knew this going in, is more geared towards water activities because it's kind of surrounded by lakes. I am in the land of 10,000 lakes, of course. So just looking for some quick hikes to do, nothing major, and call it a day. It's about noon and I reached the end of this section of the trail, which there was no real big payoff on this one. It just ends at a launch ramp into the river, which is nice, but normally the trails that I would do to national park, there's some big grand payoff. It looked like there was a place where you could veer off from the trail and try to have a look over one of the lakes out here, but I tried to whack through it and I just could not figure out how to navigate that trail. Looked like it was not maintained anymore. So anyway, just gonna relax here and finish my coffee and head back to the Xterra and have some lunch. It's about 2 o'clock, just got done having lunch. I'm gonna double back to the visitor center and fill up a water tank. And then there's just a couple of quick little quarter-mile, half-mile hikes to some scenic overlooks. So I'm gonna go check those out before I call it a day on Voyageurs National Park. It's about 6:30 in the afternoon and this is my camp spot for tonight. It's pretty good. I'm in the Lone Pine State Forest, just on an offshoot off the main road. And apparently I did a Google search and apparently you can camp anywhere in state forests in Minnesota as long as it's 1 mile away from any campground. So I haven't heard a single car go by in a couple hours. I'm pretty sure I'm at least 1 mile away, if not several more, from anywhere there's a campground near here. So anyway, just gonna hunker down, grab some dinner, and call it a day. All right, 8:45 on Friday, August 20th. Had a great sleep last night, very relaxing, super quiet all night, slept great. And today is a day that I've been looking forward to ever since I began this trip last year. When I was a kid, my happiest childhood memories are from the 1 week every summer where we went to a family camp up in northern Minnesota. And so I haven't been back in probably 30 years. And I reached out to them and they were happy to have me come by today and just have a bit of nostalgia and see the places where I had those amazing memories. So I got about an hour and a half to get there to Camp Birchwood, where I used to go every summer as a kid. Very much looking forward to this. I don't even have the words to describe how special of an experience that was. To have not been back here for 30 years, it's the place where I was the happiest as a kid. To be able to come here and see it all again, and not that much has changed. So I always assumed at some point I would get back here, but I'm so glad that it's finally happened, and hopefully it won't be my last time because the place means a lot to me. It's about 2 o'clock and I stopped at a park to have some lunch along the way out here. And this is one of the, as far as I can tell, westernmost state parks near me, so that tomorrow I can make tracks to get across the border into North Dakota. So I wanted to stay in Minnesota tonight, but kind of get as close to the border as I could. So I should still have 5 or 6 hours tomorrow, but at least I'm in a better position than I started out the day. So anyway, that brings to a conclusion the state of Minnesota for me. It was great to be back here after 20 to 30 years since my last time. And it's a really pretty state with a lot to explore, and hopefully next time I'll get to do more of it. So anyway, on to North Dakota tomorrow, and thank you for watching this video.